Hi guys, long time no see. I planned to get this video up a few days ago, but I've been working and I'm actually going to Melbourne tomorrow morning, so I wanted to get a video up before I go to Melbourne. Please excuse my hair, haven't done it, but you know what, that's cool, we can deal with that. So today I'm going to do a video on how, not how to have paranormal experiences, but things I think that probably assist in experiencing paranormal things. So if you're against, you know, paranormal things and you don't want to experience things, then just click the little red X up the top because you don't have to watch this. Next video I'm thinking of doing it on kind of like psychic abilities and stuff like that, so let me know if you're interested. So I've got a few notes written down, but basically I'm just going to talk through the things that I think have helped me kind of be able to experience things and things that I think will be able to help you. So definitely the first thing I would say is having kind of the ability or the gift of having paranormal things happen to you, or being able to see things, hear things, whatever, in your family really helps. So for example, for me, my mum experiences things, her mum who's passed away, my grandpa's mum, like it goes really far back in my family, so I think that probably plays a major part in how I experience things. So I mean, I don't think if my family members didn't, I probably wouldn't. Not saying that like it's brainwashed to happen, but yeah, I think, I mean, it's not hereditary, like it's not genetic, but I just think it helps. Another thing that I think really helps is how open you are. So for example, I believe that everybody has the ability to be able to see things or experience things or even be psychic. Basically there's a theory that young children and elderly people are a lot more inclined to experience things. Two reasons to why that is. For children, the first reason is it's because they haven't learned kind of what's real and what's not. Not saying that it's not real, but you know how you grow up thinking Santa's real and all that stuff, and then you get to an age where you kind of get told that he's not real anymore. While you're still at that young stage, you're so young, you don't know what's real and what's good and what's bad, so you are more inclined to see things rather than just brushing them off, if that makes sense. The other theory is reason why young children and elderly people are more inclined to experience things is because they're closer to the other side. So young children have just been born and elderly people are, you know, old and they're going to die soon. So that's another theory to why that is. So I think being open to the paranormal and just kind of realizing that, hey, maybe that stuff does happen, will play a major part in whether or not you are going to experience things. Now, I'm not saying you have to sit here and say, I am open to experiencing something. You can if you want. If that's what you want to do, then do it. But what I mean by that is, you know, say for example you see something out of the corner of your eye. Don't just brush it off. Don't just go, oh, maybe it was just the light, or do you know what I mean? Like if you think you're seeing things, because that's how I see majority of things, and I have so many of you guys message me saying, hey, I keep seeing this thing out of the corner of my eye, is that what you experience? And all the time I will see something. So like at the moment I have my hand, I don't even know if this is in frame, I've got my hand here and I can see it moving. I can't like focus on something like crystal clear in my peripheral vision, but that's how I majority see. That's probably 90% of my experiences that I never really talk about on videos, because I'm not going to be like, hey, today I saw a shadow walk past my peripheral vision. But yeah, so things like that, or weird sounds that I mean, obviously when I experience things, I do kind of say, okay, so I just heard that sound, could it be this, could it be the wind, could it be that? So obviously go through and try and see if it could have been something what am I trying to say? See if you can explain why that sound happened or what you saw. But if you can't, don't just brush it off. Be like, hey, maybe I did see something. And I think the more open you are to it, the more inclined, not things will start happening, but you kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. You're kind of more aware of it happening, so instead of just brushing it off, you'll be like, hey, hang on, that was something. Another thing that I think really helps, and what kind of, I mean, I've experienced things my whole life, but really when I kind of hit puberty and kind of was like 12, 13, that's when it started going like crazy, and I joined a website called yourghoststories.com, which I would totally recommend if you experience things and you don't want to make videos, but you know, you want to explain your stories and you want to get people's feedback. Go onto that website. I have an account on there, which I haven't been on that website in years, but that's where I started. And just, you know, you write out your story, you write out things that have happened, and it's kind of the same as YouTube, but in writing form. And I found that the more I've researched and the more I learnt, when something would happen, I would be like, hang on, mate, maybe that was that. Do you know what I mean? So I just think the more you become aware of your surroundings and things that could be happening that you can't explain, but instead of just brushing them off, if that makes sense. I hope I'm not rambling. And definitely, if you have experienced things and you know you want to have a platform where you don't want to make videos, but you want people's opinions and you want to know what other people think that this could be and get insight, input, go to that website. It's so good. I'm not affiliated with it or anything, but that's where I started out. I'll put if I can remember, hopefully I do, I'll put my link to my account on that website down below. Like I said, haven't been on it in ages. Another thing is you can, you know, if you experience things and you want to sort of not experience things more, but kind of get more into like different communication types where you want to communicate with paranormal, I would recommend, you know, and this is so controversial, but if you want, do a Ouija board. Now I know every video that I do where I have done a Ouija board, I get people saying, you're going to hell, oh my god, you didn't have the goodbye, you didn't have this, you didn't have that. That's like turning around and saying, you know what, you're not cutting up that carrot properly, you're supposed to cut it sideways, and the person isn't. Like, that was a really shit example, but just because of the way that I do something doesn't mean you have to do something that way. So if you feel comfortable doing a Ouija board, research on them. I'm not saying go watch my videos and see how to do it. If that's what makes you comfortable, then watch how I've made my Ouija board. I have a video on how I make them. But I mean, yeah, so I'm not even going to delve into like the full-on of Ouija boards, but if you want to do one of those, do that. Also EVPs, sorry if you can hear a weird sound as well, Ali's like right next to me chewing a bone, but an EVP recorder would be amazing. I don't have any equipment. If you guys know anyone that would like can hook me up with like a recorder, or like I really want a ghost box, which are supposed to be amazing. And basically what a ghost box is it scans all the frequencies. It scans like 1,000 frequencies per second, and I can't even bother explaining it, but YouTube it. It's so interesting. The people on Ghost Adventures use them all the time, and it kind of gives you a instant way to communicate with a spirit, because when you use an EVP recorder, you are talking and say, this is my phone, but say this is the recorder, I ask a question and I wait. I won't hear it. I'll only hear it when I play it back like 3 hours later or whatever. So the ghost box kind of gives you an immediate way to communicate. And if you're into investigating places and all that stuff, I'd probably recommend, if you're comfortable, doing just an EVP recording at your house, or in the park, or like, you don't have to delve into like a haunted asylum or anything, do you know what I mean? If you live in Sydney and you want a really cool place to go to, which I mean I've heard is good, I don't know for sure, is the Manly Quarantine Station. It's meant to be amazing to investigate. They do kind of tours in the day, tours at night, and they do like a sleepover, which I would never fucking do, because if I experience something, I want to be able to leave. I don't want to be like, oh my god, hey, you have to stay here for another 5 hours. Like, no. But yeah, I definitely recommend that. Another awesome person book thing that I would recommend for you guys to read would be Mitchell Coombs' Sensing Spirit. I have his book called Sensing Psychic, but I have read his book on Sensing Spirit. Mitchell Coombs is an Aussie medium. He is like, he is phenomenal, and I know there's so many frauds out there. My mum and I, Nathan, and some people from my mum's work a few weeks ago went and saw someone. I'm not going to say who it was. I'm not going to slander this guy. Well, no, you know what? I will. His name was Ezio. Can't remember what his last name was. Paid $30 to see him, and he was really shit. And I'm sorry if you watched this and you were a really big fan of him, but he basically stood in front of the room and just cold read everyone. If you don't know what cold reading is, I'm totally rambling, but I'm just gonna go with it. Cold reading is basically where the questions that you ask and the things that are coming through to you from the other side are quite generalized. So for example, he was standing up there and there was a room of say 100. He was standing up there and he goes, I'm sensing someone coming through that committed suicide. Now, the laws of whatever it is, if you're in a room of 100 people and you stand up there and say, oh my God, okay, someone's coming through and they've committed suicide, I guarantee $100 on the table, someone will know someone in that room that has committed suicide, or in the military, or an old woman named fucking Betty, or do you know what I mean? Like, he was really, really kind of generalizing stuff, and he would like read people, but he wouldn't, like, you'd come away from seeing him, it was like he was standing up in front of a group of people, so it wasn't one-on-one, but you don't come away from him talking to you knowing any more than what you already know. Like, he told you, oh, your uncle got shot. Well, yeah, I know that. Why? What else can you tell me? Do you know what I mean? Whereas Mitchell Coombs, oh my God, you guys need to YouTube Mitchell Coombs. He's on the Today Show here in Australia. If you don't live in Australia, it's like a news show after the morning news, so it's kind of a little bit newsy, but then it's kind of like other interesting stories, and he's always on that on Fridays. And he costs, I actually looked into a personal reading from him, but they come open so rarely. I think it's like once a year, and it's like $200. I would totally pay that. But basically, getting back onto what I was saying, he has a book called Sensing Spirit, and he in that tells, you know, stories that he's gathered over time, but then he also gives you tips and ways to strengthen your ability to experience things, or do you know what I mean? A lot of it with him is signs as well. And this is something else I will say. I'm trying to remember because I read the book ages ago, but basically, like, if you're in the car and you have been thinking of someone that's passed away and all of a sudden their favourite song comes on, or he said coins are a lot of the time, you should pay attention to it. So when you're walking down the street, if you see a coin, like a 5-cent piece or wherever the fuck you live, whatever coin is in your country, don't just go, oh sweet, a coin, and put it in your wallet. Pick it up and look at the date. And he said 9 times out of 10 the date is really, really relevant to something or someone that you know has passed away. Like, coins are a really, really big thing. So yeah, I definitely recommend his book. I know he has an online store, once again not affiliated with him, but I remember reading that book and I was just like, I read it and I took away so much. But really all I can say is don't be scared. Obviously, like I said, I think everybody has the ability, but if you are naturally gifted, I suppose, like I am, that sounds like myself, don't be afraid. And like I said, when I hit puberty and was like a teenager, 12, 13, 14, the amount of stuff, I have hair on my face that's really annoying me. Oh my God, don't you guys hate that when you can feel that you have a hair on your face? And oh my God. I think I got it. Need to use a mirror, I can't see. Oh no, I still feel it. It's so fucking annoying, holy shit. Oh, I see it. Little bastard. Yeah, like I was saying, I started experiencing most of my experiences when I was hitting puberty, and it really, really freaked me out. Like, I would cry, I would be like, why is this happening to me? And I got so scared. And then I was like, you know what? So many people wish that they could experience things, and I should, instead of focusing on it being negative and wishing I couldn't experience things, turn it around, focus on a positive and see what I can do with it. So that's pretty much all I've got to say. Just really, I think, just be open. And I mean, there's a lot of different things. Like, I know I'm going to get comments from people saying, but you said you forgot to mention that you can pray. You forgot to mention that you can do this. I'm talking about the things that I have done to kind of strengthen my abilities, I suppose. But it totally depends on you and your personal beliefs and views and all that. You can easily do any research online. That's how I kind of opened myself up a lot more. I did research. When I had free time, I'd just read up on a few things. But the main thing is, don't be scared, and also don't feel like you're alone, because you're not, because you've always got me. And I'm being serious. Like, I always reply to inboxes. It might not be the same day that I get it, because I don't always check my messages on my Facebook or my YouTube. But if you're gonna, you know, if you're going through something or you're experiencing something and you want help with it, I have an email. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to email me there, or you can inbox me on Facebook, which is probably the best choice, I would say, because it's the one I check the most. Yeah, so I hope this helped you guys in some way. I've got to go because I've got to go to work soon. But I'll talk to you guys later, and I'm going to Melbourne tomorrow, so I'll have this up after I get back from work. But I'm going to Melbourne tomorrow, so I probably won't have a video up for another week or so. But if you want, let me know, because I want to do my next video on how I strengthened my psychic abilities. Ooh, so yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!